shine doing what I've shown. Never be, never see. Won't see what might have been. What I felt, what I've known. Never shine doing what I've shown. Never free, never me. So I dug the end again.
What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television, and we're going to be going over Obi-Wan Episode 3 today. But before we get into that, smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, hit all on that bell notification so you never miss an episode of Tully Television, where we bring you things like fight music by Smokey Bishop, co-hosts like Jordan. I was going to say Gordon. Gordon Ramsay? Maybe. Gordon, are you listening? Jordan. Chrissy. Everyone here at Tully Television works hard to try to entertain you. So if we're doing that, hit all on that bell notification, like all that beautiful YouTube stuff. But let's get right into it today. Obi-Wan Episode 3. They're not really naming these episodes with titles like The Old Man in the Desert, whatever like that. It's just Chapters 1, Chapters 2, Chapter 3. Now, initially I thought this show was going to be dropping every Friday, but it's dropping every Wednesday after starting with Episode 3. So I finally got a chance to sit down and record the episode for this. I will say this was a better episode for me than the first two episodes aired. We have Deborah Chow as the director. We have Joby Harold, Hannah Friedman, and Hassan Amini as the writers. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, Hayden Christensen as Anakin / Darth Vader, Moses Ingram as Inquisitor Reva, Vivian Elira Blair as Little Leia, straight out of Alderaan. I'm just gonna keep doing that. I want a Little Leia rap career, but she's gonna flex like Little Tay did. Sung Kang as the fifth brother, Araya Kyle Stedit, fourth sister. I'm going to spell this last name, Khilstedt, and then Zach Braff as the voice of Freck, the mole-looking character, a humanoid mole. Now, we open up the episode of Obi-Wan in some sort of meditative state, where we hear words of his past come to him from Qui-Gon, from Yoda, and from finally Anakin Skywalker, because he's still reeling from the information that Anakin is alive from Episode 2. The last he thought he injured and maimed him so bad that he died on Mustafar. He's fiddling with Lola, the little droid, for Leia. Leia does the typical kid thing, are we there yet thing. And Obi-Wan is like, no, Leia, we're not there, and tries to preach the virtue of patience to her, and that not everything works like that. We're on a trade route, and we have to, act normal, so to speak. And then she asks him about the Force, and can he use the Force to make things faster or whatever, and it's like, no, it's not exactly like that. and her curiosity, made her ask, "What does the Force feel like?" He explains it as being afraid in the dark. Well, he asks her in return, "How do you feel when you turn on the light from being scared in the dark and you put on the light? How do you feel?" She's like, "Oh, well, like, yeah, safe or whatever, like better." And that's how the Force feels for him. We've only seen him use the Force once in this whole journey so far. Um, they begin their final descent on the planet to go to the coordinates they were given for safe haven. At the same time, uh, we then jump into Vader getting the Vader suit on, and then he has a conversation with um, Reva. Oh, and I meant to mention, I'm sorry, James Earl Jones does come back for the voice of Darth Vader in this series, um, which is a big thing good for him because, they didn't kind of exactly wish him a happy birthday or anything or keep him in the minds of the fans. But yes, back as the voice of Darth Vader, and he tells her after she tells him the Grand Inquisitor's dead, which I'm hearing from continuity issues that goes against the Rebels continuity. I have not seen that show, so I'm not going to speculate. But if anyone else has watched the show, let me know down below. Um, that seems to go against continuity. The thing with Leia and Ben knowing each other seems to go against continuity. Um, this show is not really well written. It's well acted by some people. The CGI is good, but some of the things that they're doing writing wise is not making any sense. Like they have still yet to explain why Reva specifically is looking for Obi-Wan Kenobi, um, outside of wanting a promotion. And like in the first episode when they were looking for that Jedi, they weren't looking for Obi-Wan. They were specifically looking for that Jedi. And in her mind, she was hoping that Obi-Wan was there, even though there was no intel according to that. Even though he was there was nothing to indicate that he was there for her to be so pissed off and ready to look for him. In this episode, I'll explain a couple of things too, but they even kind of doing Obi-Wan wrong. Like he's not doing any of the training. He's not contacting Qui-Gon. He's not really looking to protect Luke. If you're looking to protect Luke and you want him to be a Jedi, why are you burying your lightsabers? Why are you not training? You need to be training and be the master of your skills if you want to train Luke. So all this old man in the desert not wanting to be found, and he's destitute, and they lost, and the Jedi lost. And why are you looking? Why, if you don't believe in the mission, why are you doing the mission? Why are you doing everything in the mission to not do the mission, but you accepted it? You know what I mean? And it's not making any sense because then at this point of the show, in 10 years, he's going to be Alex McGinnis. You know what I mean? He's going to be that playful mentor, that space wizard, so to speak, that knows everything and can teach you what he needs to teach you and give his valuable knowledge. In this show so far, he is of a shell of what he once was, much like they did to Luke Skywalker in the sequels. I don't know what it is that they have with some of these legacy older characters and making them look like dum-dums and incapable of doing things, but the way he was so ready to face Vader on the Death Star in episode 4, in this episode, when Vader finally makes his appearance on the planet that they are on, and Vader goes nuts, snapping necks and cashing checks, Obi-Wan starts running away. He starts letting Leia go with someone else so they can protect her. He's even abandoning this mission of protecting Leia because he's kind of turned into a semi-coward in a sense. He's giving up everything because, of the trauma he went through. But to me, it's still not making any sense how this was Obi-Wan Kenobi in between Return of Return of the Sith to A New Hope. He does face Vader, which again to me goes against continuity as well. They're going to skirt around it. They're going to skirt around this whole thing, and it's going to be from a certain perspective or certain view on why they can get away with this. But no, I just find it to be not good writing to try to. What has been the problem is that there's no central continuity figure for Star Wars that I feel is doing their job, that can tell you the continuity of what's going on in the movies, continuity in the shows, the cartoon, animated, the games, to where you say, no, this episode is not going to fit in the grander scheme of things. And they're just throwing stuff out there, seeing what falls and what hits. I'm not going to get too much into the controversy I talked about in episodes 1 and 2 when it comes to Moses Ingram, because it's been said, it's been talked about 1,000 times now on YouTube. But she's having tension with, I just want to make sure I get the correct character. Her and the fifth brother are having confrontation because the fifth brother wants to take the seat as a Grand Inquisitor. Vader basically puts her in charge and says that if she fails, she dies. I really feel like this episode was the better, like I said, better episode, just due to Vader and his presence and the storylines that you could have been presenting. Because when they got on the planet that they were supposed to be meeting someone for safety, meaning Leia and Ben, you see Ben seeing an image of Anakin Skywalker in the distance, as Anakin Skywalker, and they have this stare down. And I would have loved to see this show being more of his motivation from that and how it affected him. Maybe he talks to Anakin, but he's really talking to himself, type of thing. I would have preferred something like that out of this show, but we're getting what we're getting, and he keeps explaining to Leia how not everyone is good, you have to be careful, and they finally get picked up. Leia is not really listening to anything he's suggesting, because like they see some guy coming down in a transport and she waves him down even though he's telling her not to, and he agrees to drive him to the outpost. And on the way to the outpost, they talk about how great the Empire is, and then they pick up stormtroopers who their transport was running late, so the driver drove them to the next part, and of course there's tension-filled moments there because they slip up, and Ben calls Leia instead of Loomis or whatever, and he makes up an excuse on the mother dying, so he gets confused with the names. They let that go. Then they finally come to a roadblock that they finally, the mole humanoid guy basically tells the stormtroopers to, check these guys out, and basically winds up being a showdown in which Obi-Wan takes down these stormtroopers. The fight scene was pretty good because there's this laser gate, and one of the stormtroopers falls and gets cut in half, and he takes care of them. The only other stupid thing out of that scene was that they were trying to shoot to deactivate the gate when they could have just walked around the gate. But again, pew pew, they want pew pews. The people want the pew pews. And they get through it, but then they get stopped by what appears to be female stormtroopers, because the voices out of the helmets are female, or seem to be female voices. I don't want to assume, but in this instance, I'm gonna think I'm assuming pretty right. And then the female admiral or officer behind them shoots them and lets Obi-Wan know that she's the one that they're supposed to meet. She explains to them about the safe house, the safe havens that she's running, and on one of them, on one of the walls, is only when the eyes are closed can you truly see. And I believe that the person who wrote that is a character that was introduced into a game or a show. I'm forgetting which one, but maybe Tim, our editor there, can put in a little picture of the person or something. If he has the time, he is a very important person and is very busy, being awesome and amazing. But yeah, so then all right, so much going on. Vader and Obi-Wan finally confront each other. Vader tells him he's only what you made me, telling Obi-Wan that you made me into this, and basically whips Obi-Wan's ass. And just basically tries to set him on fire, but at this point Leia sends the lady back to try to save Obi-Wan, leaving her basically in the clutches of Reva, because Reva now is waiting for her to, at the end of this tunnel or whatever that they were going into, because she just happened to get a feeling, because a robot walked out of a building, that that's where they were. They don't show any reason why she's choosing to do this. She just does something without any real motivation behind it. I just don't get it. But basically at the end of the episode, Reva seems to have Leia in her clutches. The lady saves Obi-Wan from being burnt alive, and Vader is stopped by a wall of fire. And you would think that because of his experience with fire before, that the outfit he's wearing is flame retardant. But no, he doesn't go through the flames. He doesn't even force jump over the flames. He just lets Obi-Wan get rescued and just sits there like a goddamn idiot. Even they gotta even make Vader an idiot. But anyway, I'm going to rate this episode a 9 out of 10 because of Vader. Basically because of Vader. Hayden Christensen did great under the suit. To me, he reminded me of the actor who played Vader in the original sequel, The Motions, but added his own flair to it. And it's great to see James Earl Jones back as the voice of Vader. And due to that alone and the acting of Ewan McGregor, this is going to make it a 9 out of 10 for me. But to me, the writing is still very shoddy, and the continuity setups is still very shoddy as well. And that is still killing it for me in the series as a whole. The writing and the lack of motivation for certain characters. And Moses Ingram is an okay actress. I don't find her to be a horrible actress. I'm just not big on her character. I love Leia. I think Leia and that little droid is going to be one of the Christmas most requested Christmas gifts if they're making those. And yeah, we're going to see what happens in episode 4. We're probably going to see more Vader confrontations. And yeah, that's where we're at now. ObiWan episode 3. And thank you again for stopping by, liking, comment, and sharing. And I'm hoping that today we earned your subscription. But until next time, peace, Nickums.
Too long, I'm glad to be back. Yes, I'm let loose from the noose that's kept me hanging around again. Never gonna stop, cause it's getting me high. I got the hearse, cause I'll never die.